Hi there, my name is Paige. This is my first video, so it might be a little bit rough, a little bit, I don't know what to call it, rusty. Although to be rusty, it will have had to have been oiled in the first place, so I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to create a channel and a series of video blogs as I transition into being a vegan. I'm actually active duty in the Air Force. I'm stationed in Montana, so going vegan is sort of a challenge. There's only one natural food store in the whole town I live in, and I'm in the only town for a couple of hours. The only town of any, substance or whatever. So I'm sort of trying it. I was trying to be a pescatarian a few weeks ago, and there were too many options. I don't know how else to explain it, but my self-control is really bad. And so every time I was out with my friends or whatever, and we would be at a fast food restaurant, I would get a fish sandwich or whatever. And that's fine, but I'd rather not even have the option of going to those places because I would still end up feeling the same way as I did if I ate a cheeseburger, because there's just so much fat in all of that food. So I decided to go vegetarian with the intentions of being a vegan. So I'm trying my hardest to eat vegan at home, and then when I go out to lunch at a sit-down restaurant, and I'm also cutting out fast food. There's no excuse to eat fast food. There's always a better answer or whatever. But so I'm sort of changing my whole philosophy and my whole way of living and everything that I eat. And this is my third full day of doing this. The first day I had the only non-vegan thing that I had was Thai tea at an Asian restaurant, and it has cream in it. So, I'd consider that pretty good for my first day attempting to be a vegan. So I just wanted to go over sort of what I've been eating, what I bought when I went grocery shopping, because I know that I struggled trying to figure out what to buy. There's so many suggestions as far as what you should eat and where your protein should come from. And so I'm just sort of going to go over my staples. And I'm starting with a lot of smoothies. Smoothies aren't just for breakfast. They can have anything in them. And I had no idea that smoothies could be so good. I used to make smoothies a lot, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So I would put, milk and a banana and some frozen berries and maybe some yogurt. If I didn't have milk, I would put orange juice, just a normal smoothie. But eventually I got bored with them, and they became too much work to make sure I always had fresh or frozen berries, or always had a banana, or always, and so I sort of lost my desire to do it. So that sort of fell off. And then I was eating, an English muffin with butter and apple butter on it for a while for breakfast. And so I've just sort of been lost. I don't ever really know what to buy when I go to the grocery store, because for a long time I had 2 jobs, and I never ate at home, so I didn't go grocery shopping for 8 whole months of my life. And that long, and plus I'm only shopping for myself. So going that long, not really going shopping, just buying things as I go, really made me lose touch with what I wanted to be eating and my goals as far as my nutrition. So I did a lot of research, and I did a lot of fact checking, and I did a lot of exploring and talking to people who were vegan and eating some vegan meals. And I made the decision that I wanted to try and be a vegan. If you go into it as a carnivore or as an omnivore wanting to go vegan, just straight cut meat and dairy out cold turkey, you're not going to succeed. You might do it for a couple of weeks, or you might even do it for a couple of months, but eventually your body is going to want to divert from that way of eating. So that's why I'm doing it gradually. And I'm not going to beat myself up if I have a mistake. Like the other night, I made myself a grilled cheese sandwich, And I knew what I was doing, and I didn't beat myself up over it, because that was my body telling me, I don't think you've had enough calories. My metabolism is really fast, so that was my body telling me, I don't think you've had enough calories. You might want to eat something before you go to bed. And I decided to make a grilled cheese. Am I excited or proud about that? Not particularly. However, I'm not going to dwell on it, and, so when I went grocery shopping 4 nights ago, I went to the natural food store, and I got a few things, and a few things that I didn't know were good to eat before doing all my research. So my first staple for my smoothies was silken tofu, and it's different than the tofu you find in the refrigerated section. It's actually usually in a non-refrigerated aisle, and there's four or five different like textures, so that goes from soft, which is the one I bought, all the way to semi-firm. And the tofu that you buy in the refrigerated section is considered firm. And so I bought some of that, and that's gonna be like the cream replacement in my smoothies. So better said, it's gonna replace yogurt in my smoothies. It doesn't particularly have the same texture as yogurt, but it serves the same purpose when you put it in a smoothie. I also got, and so that's a good one. That's a source of protein, and it's also a source of calories. The next thing I got were fresh vegetables, obviously. You're going to want to get kale, which is a superfood. It's a leafy green, a dark leafy green. If you've never heard of it, do some research. You'll be amazed. And you can put it in so many things. There's absolutely endless possibilities for this vegetable. It's like spinach almost, but it has a better texture, and it has a more palatable texture, and it has a more bitter flavor, but that's just because it's packed with so many vitamins and minerals. And it also has antioxidants in it, so, I mean, can't ever have too many antioxidants. And whenever you buy any product, if this is important to you, I always check to make sure it's not genetically modified, so it'll say non-GMO on it. That is pretty important to me, because why eat all these healthy things if it's not healthy for the earth, or it's not grown in an absolutely natural way? Sort of my philosophy. Also, additionally, make sure it's organic, obviously. If it's non-GMO, it's typically organic. So kale, I bought bell peppers, carrots, spinach, romaine lettuce, and most of that is going to go into salads and stuff. And I'm not a big salad eater. I mean, I'll eat salads if I go out to eat, but typically I never really made myself salads. So going into the whole, like, making myself a salad before I eat dinner thing is, I mean, it's one more step, but it's really paying off. I can tell. And I make my own dressing, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, maybe some all-natural peanut butter if you're looking to make sort of like a Thai-inspired dressing, and then salt and pepper. Really, that's it. You can put any seasonings in it you want. I haven't gone all the way organic yet, because I still have seasonings and spices and flour and sugar and stuff in that part of my cabinets that is not organic. So as I dwindle down and use up those things, I'll be buying more organic seasonings and spices and stuff. What else? I also bought quinoa. It's a super grain, is what they're calling it, or it's also been called an ancient grain. It's actually a seed, and it can be used in place of rice. Not to say that you shouldn't eat rice, because rice is, a great source of carbs, and also, minuscule other nutrients. But quinoa is very versatile, and it's also very nutritious. It has tons of protein in it. It has iron, and it has omega-3s. And that, I think, makes it a much more versatile and a much more efficient grain to be consuming, rather than wheat or barley or whatever. I mean, those things are great too, but the amount of protein and iron in quinoa is amazing. And it doesn't taste bad. It tastes like a grain. I also bought basmati rice, but that's to make my tofu. I make tofu curry, and that's to make with that. I bought fresh fruit, pineapple, apples, bananas, avocados, cucumbers, and those are just to put in my recipes and work into my salads and stuff like that. What else? I bought almond milk and I bought soy milk. Almond milk is for my kale smoothie. I'll give you that recipe. And smoothies are basically by eye. If you are wanting to make a smoothie for breakfast, then also a smoothie to tide you over and from lunch until dinner, there's all kinds of smoothies, and all you have to do is Google it. But as I learn more smoothie recipes, I'll go over them and tell you which ones are good. I have 2 of them that I'll save for the end of the video, or later. I also bought all natural almond butter because almond butter is better for you than peanut butter, because peanuts are actually one of the fattiest nuts, which to me doesn't really mean anything. But if you're in veganism to lose weight or to lower your cholesterol, I would consider going almond butter instead of peanut butter. I use both, so you can also do that. You can use all the nut butters you want, but almond butter is very good for you, as almonds are good for you. So I just bought a lot of fresh ingredients, a lot of local produce, organic grains, organic soy, and always make sure, and I also bought frozen fruits, organic frozen fruits for my smoothies. So, and that's just to make them cold, honestly, because when you buy organic frozen berries and organic frozen fruits, they come out of the bag looking like, and you can tell that it's a fruit. I've noticed that when I bought like Walmart brand frozen strawberries or Walmart brand frozen blueberries or whatever, they came out and they were sort of misshapen, and you could tell that they were the fruit they were, but not 100%. Well, with the organics you can. It just looks like a raspberry, just with a little frost on the outside. So that's one thing that I noticed. Frozen soybeans to put in my fried rice that I will be making. Just key ingredients. Always you can private message me and ask me what my opinion is on certain ingredients, because I can tell you. But that's what I'm working with right now. As far as my smoothies go, I've been eating my tofu curry, and I've also been making smoothies. So making sure that you balance solid with liquid in your diet is important. So whenever I make a smoothie, I always take into consideration where the liquid source is going to come from, where the produce source is going to come from, and then any other flavoring type agents. Those are sort of the big 3 when you're making a smoothie, and that's not by anyone else's rules, that's just me. So I made the kale smoothie, and I was very questionable about it because I had no idea how kale was going to do in a smoothie. I saw photos of the smoothie, and it's green. So I questioned it a lot. But the things that make the kale smoothie palatable and actually very fulfilling are almond milk, almond butter, and the banana, and also hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are very versatile. I don't know if I went over them when I was going over my groceries that I bought, but hemp seeds come, in a bag, and they, despite the negative aura surrounding hemp, they're very nutritious. Again, they're just like quinoa. They're a very good source of protein, a very good source of omega-3s, and they go really well in smoothies. They give it a nutty flavor, and they give it a texture that it might lack. And it also has a little bit of fiber in it, so you might as well. So how I made the smoothie is I put a cup of almond milk. The recipe I had called for a cup and a half, but I thought that was a little excessive when I looked at the other ingredients. So a cup of almond milk, I would say 3 to 4 leaves of kale, a heaping scoop of almond butter, a couple of tablespoons of the hemp seeds, and some honey, and a banana. And it helps if you freeze the banana. It helps with the overall temperature of the smoothie. It'll give it thickness and it'll make it cold, which makes it more palatable. I don't use frozen bananas. I don't care about the temperature of my smoothie because temperature isn't an issue for me. But you just blend all those ingredients up, and it ends up tasting really good. I got vanilla flavored almond milk because it was my first experience with almond milk. I'd had it before, but it was my first time buying it, so I got vanilla, and I think that really helps with the overall flavor of my kale smoothie. The hemp seeds give it nuttiness. Obviously, the almond butter gives it nuttiness, and it just comes out really sweet and creamy and delicious. And it's one of my favorite smoothies, actually, and it's my only green smoothie that I've made. So that one's really good. And then for more of a breakfast type smoothie, I put half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of orange juice. This morning I made an avocado raspberry smoothie, which sounds crazy and weird, but it was really good. So I put a little bit of orange juice, half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup, a whole avocado, a scoop of frozen raspberries. I don't really measure them. I just say maybe three quarters of a cup of frozen raspberries. Pomegranate juice. If you can't find pomegranate juice, raspberry juice or Concord grape juice, but always make sure it's 100% juice, and that if it's organic, that helps too because you make sure that it's actually juice. And any one of those antioxidant-rich juices is fine. And then also, what else did I put in there? I always put a little bit of honey for sweetness, and some hemp seeds. I put hemp seeds in all the smoothies that I make. Blend that up, and the avocado gives it a really good, creamy, smooth consistency. And that's really delicious. And the amount of oil in the avocado kind of tied me over until I was ready to eat lunch. So that was good. So I just experiment. I look up recipes, vegan. If you look up vegan recipes, vegan smoothie recipes, actually, you'll find a lot of good knowledge there. And then if I'm not using avocado as a cream source in my smoothies, I use the silken tofu that I was talking about earlier. And the silken tofu combined with a little bit of soy milk with whatever else I'm putting in the smoothie, orange juice, frozen berries, a banana, and hemp seeds, say, for instance, which that would be a really good smoothie now that I think of it, would create, your typical smoothie consistency, but it would have all that protein from the soy, and it would be very, very good for you, obviously. I don't really have anything else to go over, I don't think. I think I just talked for a very long time, so I'm gonna get off here, but if you have any questions, you can send me a message or leave me a comment. My channel will be updated as regularly as I can. Being active military, I am slightly busy. One of the things I'll be covering in a few months is being deployed and being a vegan, or at least being a vegetarian while deployed. Last time I was deployed in the Middle East, there were little to no options for a vegetarian, so I'm going to give it my all and try and stick it out. I'm going to be there for 6 months over in that part of the world, so that will be a journey. And then after that, I will be moving from Montana to Guam. So Guam is sort of a Philippine inspired country, and the Filipinos really like to eat meat. And so I'm going to try my hardest. If I have, and like I said, have an open mind about everything. Don't go into it thinking that it's going to be 100% right away, because you're going to have moments where you slip up, but don't beat yourself up over it. Don't stress out and think that you've failed and throw your arms up and give up. Because it is difficult. It's challenging, but once you do it, and once you have been doing it for a long time, you start to feel good. But obviously, as you can see, it's starting to get dark out, so I need to get going. But I will be updating. Thank you for watching. Good luck on your journey if you choose to start your journey. And until next video, have a good evening.